Hello, my name is Bradley Ryan Sewell, and I play David Trotwood Copperfield on the web series Public History.
Hello everyone, my name is Bri Castellini. I play the character of Mariah Heap in Public History.
This is Mars. I play Tommy Traddles on Public History.
Hi, this is Allie Neinstein, Fanny Babley in Public History.
I'm Faith Porter. I play Dora on Public History.
Hi, my name is Abby Gumper, and I play Annie Markham in Public History.
So Balthazar from Instagram asks, what's the best set stories and what were the expectations going into the show? So for set stories, there were times where we would film more than one scene in the day. So if I'm not filming, we would just be kind of talking and communicating with each other. And it was really great to see everyone had such a strong interest in the show, even though we're kind of doing it ourselves and working on it, little ideas back and forth, communicating. And it was really great to see such creative people coming together for something like this.
There's one day when we were filming outside and something was holding us back from actually filming outside. Could have been the weather, I don't know. But Jules, who is the creator and writer, she was like, you know what, a couple of us go back inside and film some more episodes inside. I wasn't needed, so me, Abby and Michael, who play Annie and Jack respectively, all stayed outside and climbed trees and followed dogs around the park. It's not really a story, but it was a good day.
So our director, Jules, has a little puppy, and I wasn't expecting there to be a dog on set, and so a lot of our really good stories are from just like hanging out with the puppy while other people were filming their scenes that we weren't in. There's also a scene in a park, and we were climbing some trees waiting for a cast member to get there, and that was a lot of fun.
I just have to say that filming went quickly and smoothly and oh so easily because we were prepared well in advance with the script, with our looks, with basically everything, so that we could just come in and do the quickest, smoothest, easiest shooting I've ever experienced. So I didn't have time to have any set stories.
Best set stories, I honestly have to tell you to go take a look at the blooper reel that was put online. It has some of my favorite jokes that were made during the set and a lot of funny times. Highly recommend you check that out.
So the best set story was any time that Jules' dog Scout was on set. She is absolutely adorable. I think we all wanted to play with her and not film. She was just around us and she just hung out, and I think she is a Scottish Terrier. I think she's a Scotty dog. I may be wrong, totally wrong probably, but she is the type of dog that Dorothy has in The Wizard of Oz, and that's just so adorable and cute. So anytime Scout was on set, which for me luckily was every day that I was shooting, so we all love Scout.
I think one of my best set stories was talking to Jennifer. She plays Peggy, I think, and just getting to know her. It was pretty chill because we have people that we know in common. So that was really nice.
What were my expectations going into the show? Basically had none, just took it as it came, and it was a great experience.
I didn't really have any. I was kind of a later addition. There were a lot of casting switcheroos for this reason or that reason, and because of that I came in a bit later than some other people. And so I didn't know what I was expecting, but I was very happy with what I found. The director and writer was brilliant. I loved what they did, and they were so nice and friendly and good to work with. All the actors that I got to work with were so funny too, and I had a great time with them. So I don't know what my expectations were in the beginning, but they were definitely exceeded. I'd have to say that.
My expectations were just to have a good time, but I knew I was going to have a good time anyway because this is my second web series that I've done with Jules as the writer and the creator. So I knew that was going to be absolutely great. But my other expectation for me personally as an actor was to play the character of Mariah Heap in the Jane Krakowski style of acting. Like, I wanted her to be annoying and sneaky, but I also wanted her to be fun. So you don't totally hate her. I don't think it's right to play a villain as like all bad, because all villains come from a certain part of themselves, and they're not all bad. They're just people, but have some issues. So I don't know. I hope that came across, just the way that Mariah Heap is not all terrible.
So I was brought on a little bit late in the process, just a couple days before, and so I didn't have many expectations. I was just sort of ready to see what it was going to be like, and like heart and mind open, and it was really a great time.
Expectations going into the show, I had seen the Lizzie Bennet Diaries before, so I understood the concept of literary web series. I hadn't really watched any others before, so I was really interested in how this one was going to play out. I also hadn't read David Copperfield before, so I had to Wikipedia it. I'm sorry. I signed on 2 weeks before we started filming, so I didn't get a chance to read the whole book. But yeah, I'm just expecting to meet cool people, and that's what happened.
I don't really have any. This is my first like web series thing, so I don't know. It was pretty interesting and a lot more laid back than I thought it was going to be, which is good. It helped my nerves a lot because I was really nervous going into it. But yeah, it was a really good experience. So that was fun.
When I auditioned, or I even like had my first scene or the first script that I got, it was something that was very different from who I am. It was someone that had a lot of more confidence than me, and had a want to like make everyone like him, and always kind of approaching different people, and he always has like a kind of romance and flair to it that I don't think I have. And it was an interesting thing that like I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work out. I don't know how this is gonna go. But the dialogue and the way I communicate with other people in the scenes made it come natural, and it really helped with the show.
This question is from Justin on Twitter, and Justin asks, what were your favorite scenes to film? So I loved any of the scenes that had a larger cast there. The cast tended to really be able to sort of jive off of each other, and we had a lot of we had a good time filming when we were all together.
I'd have to say the last scene. Probably just because it makes me emotional, you know? I don't want to give anything away, of course, but it jumps around from place to place with different people, and you just get to see, like, some satisfying endings, and you get to see, like, David's last words on the subject, and it's just all very well written, and it just, like, pierces me straight to my core, and I hope it does the same for you guys, because I love it.
My favorite scene to film was my last scene of the series. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I can't have any spoilers out there. But the last scene where it's Ash and David and David's other friend who come in, and I kind of have a scene with all three of them. And that was fun just because there's so many like moving parts story-wise in that scene, and it's always fun to do a scene with like multiple characters, with multiple actors, and that was just a fun scene, and I think the scene was well written, so that was my favorite part.
I think my favorite scene to film is one that you guys have not seen yet, which is dialogue conversations between my character Jason and David Copperfield, and it's this great, it was a great day, I think, because it took a long time for us to prepare the scene, because there's a lot of emotion and a lot of energy between me and him, and it was just so much fun to go back and forth with him. He's such a great actor, and I think the final product came out really well, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So it's coming soon. It is coming soon, and I hope you guys enjoy that.
My favorite scene to film is in season 2, so I can't spoil it, but I get to play with emotions, which is what every actor loves to do.
My favorite scene to film was from season 1, episode 28, I think, David Out. It was the scene where I was like making sure that he had all his shit together, and it was really cute and it was really fun, and yeah, that was a really good scene. I'm trying not to spoil it, or maybe I just did. I don't know, I'm sorry. But yeah, that was a really cute scene to film, so I really liked that.
From Jenny on Twitter, which character does each cast member feel like they relate to the most? I do think I'm like Dora. I think she's a little more energetic than me. So I think I'm a little bit of a mix between Dora and Annie. Annie's so sweet, and I kind of strive to be her, but I also can't shut my mouth like Dora.
For me, I definitely think it's David's character. He's just a nice person, and he has been through a lot, and he just remains sweet and kind, and he's trying to find his way in the world, and he has some great friends around him. And when I was younger, I definitely wanted to find my way in the world, and I'm still trying to do that. I think that never ends for people, but just the kindness, that no matter what happens to David, he just remains kind and sweet and a good person, and I think that's very, very important.
David Copperfield. I don't know. I feel like I put a lot of myself into David Copperfield, and a lot of myself was kind of who he was, so I didn't find it that hard to relate to David. The stage of life that he is entering as he starts filming this is kind of the stage of life I was just leaving as I started filming this, so I definitely could relate to what he was going through, college-wise, family issues. There's definitely a struggle there, which I can relate to. Not personally, of course.
I feel like I relate to Jack. He's just so sweet, and he really loves his friends, and I just love that energy.
I guess I got to know Fanny the best because she's the one I played, and she's more outgoing than I am in real life. She seems to have that radar that guides her to see a situation, know what another person needs, and she just steps right in there and makes herself useful, whereas I, in real life, am a bit more reserved. I wait to be invited into a situation.
From Jessamyn on Twitter, what moment made you laugh the most on set?
I think that there was a scene that made me laugh the most was there was a scene where I'm just in the background pretending to sleep. That's all I'm supposed to do for the scene. But the entire time, I couldn't keep a straight face. I think even in the bloopers, you see me in the background just laughing because it was so hard to keep a straight face because I'm not supposed to do anything. In reality, I can just bury my head in the pillow, be asleep, and that's the end of it. But for some reason, I couldn't stop laughing, just the awkwardness of the silence I had to do.
The moment that made me laugh on set the most, I think it was when, I can say that line because it's in the trailer, when my character says, which Monopoly do you want me to bring, the regular Monopoly or the Game of Thrones Monopoly? And that was so funny to me. I think when I even read that line, I think I burst out laughing because I have no idea what a Game of Thrones Monopoly is. Does it even exist? I have no clue until now. So just the fact that my character brings up this Game of Thrones Monopoly kind of says a lot about who she is as a character. And also it's just, I feel like it's a super fun Monopoly game. So I don't know, that was super funny to me.
I don't know, probably us just messing up. That always makes me laugh. Also, not technically on set, but still on set, we would hang out in a living room area that was kind of like a green room when we weren't filming episodes with David, with Bradley. So usually it would be Bradley and someone would be in David's room filming an episode. When that was happening, all of us would sit in a living room and have to be quiet so that we didn't interrupt set, essentially. And so there was a lot of conversations through facial expressions alone, and it was so hard to hold in laughter because you really didn't want to mess up a take for anyone else because you're not even doing the take. This is someone else's take. You're not even involved, and you're trying to hold in laughter while playing with a dog, first of all, because there was a dog in there, and it was so great. And then while trying to communicate with others just using your face and just making each other laugh. That's always difficult.
For that one, I'm gonna have to say go back to the blooper reel. Funny stuff.
Oh, well, there's a scene where we have to eat ice cream, and so actually eating the ice cream sort of was a really fun time, and it made us all laugh, and I really enjoyed that.
What episode did you find hardest to film? None of them. They were all easy, smooth, and utterly enjoyable.
Episode that was hardest to film was David's birthday party. It was one of the first scenes that we filmed, and I didn't really know my lines yet. Oops. And I kept messing up my lines when I was talking to Annie and Val, and it was so frustrating. But yeah, that was the hardest to film, mostly because I wasn't prepared. Otherwise, everyone was super professional, and we really got things done, like, so quick.
The hardest episode was the last one that Mariah Heap is in. Because, again, there are so many moving parts. And also, it was shot outside in, like, a courtyard. But the sun kept like, going in and out. It was, like, cloudy. Then it was, like, sunny again. And then I think there were, like, planes flying around above us. And maybe some traffic. But it was, like, noisy. And I kind of was losing my train of thought because of all these interruptions. And also it was hard to film because there are so many like moving parts, and it was the most dialogue that my character has ever like spoken, and the scene is kind of long, so it was just a lot of pressure to get it right and make sure that everything is filmed in that scene before like the clouds come in again.
There was a scene that I did that is not out yet. Where it's just a dialogue conversation between Jason and David, and that's all it is, that entire scene. But the scene, we kind of tried to do it all in one take, really strong dialogue, and it's a lot of lines, and it's a scene that's very important, I think, between each of the characters, and it was hard to do, but it came out really well in the end, and I'm glad at the final product, and I can't wait for you guys all to see it.
Anytime that I had to be from a place as Annie that I didn't relate to as Abby was hard for me to film. Just anytime that you have to bridge that gap between like, this is my character and these are the life experiences that I've had and I can't bring them together, that's hard, and it takes a lot of like looking stuff up and being really open to the castmate that you're with in that scene and being open to the director and what they had wanted for that, because it's not an experience that you yourself had related to.
The most difficult scenes to film were definitely in season 2. I don't want to spoil anything, but there are a couple scenes that happen outdoors. And for whatever reason, this, that, or the other, the wind being loud, the clothing was different than what the weather was supposed to be just for the sake of the scene. Unfamiliar setting, I don't know. I messed up a little more than I usually do, but we got through it. It was definitely harder just being in those outdoor settings. There were a lot of things that we didn't expect to have to deal with that we had to. So that was definitely difficult.
I'd have to say the episode with the party moment, I forgot which one that was. I think it was like episode 15 or something like that. But yeah, that one made me laugh the most and was also hardest for me to film just because I was like running in and out and I was like, ah! So yeah, that was pretty hard. Just in a sense that I had to like go in and out really fast. But it also made me laugh a lot because there was a lot of like funny moments in that episode. So yeah, that was pretty nice.
From Jael on Twitter, Bradley Ryan Sewell, how does it feel to be the the light of our lives? It feels great. Thank you. I hope I can continue to be the light of your life and the light of all of your lives, and I hope that this series does bring you some kind of happiness, because it definitely did for me. And I hope that definitely rubs off on you guys, because David is such a sweetheart of a character. Even watching him, even I'm like, oh, I wish I had a David in my life. I hope you guys get that feeling too, because it was so much fun to take on that persona and to do this project. And it would just all be so much more worth it if you guys enjoyed it too. So I hope you guys do, and thanks for watching this video. Thank you for the questions. It's been great, and I hope that you guys watch season 2 of Public History.